everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am SolieSims and we are doing our first build of winter. I know maybe other people have not really started yet, or maybe they have, I do not know, but I started this build in autumn, and when I was playtesting it, it started to snow and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so pretty in the snow. We need to make it into a winter build, and so here we are. Now I'm recording this at night. Right now it's like 1 a.m. I just can't sleep, so I figured I would just do my voiceover right now. I had so much fun building this. It is a house for a couple who has a young uh, male toddler. Now I use a lot of CC from the Coastal collection by Harry, and I don't know, I felt like I just needed to, I felt like this one, I wanted this to be like a little coastal cottage. It's on that little island in Windenburg, and this is the mid nowhere lot. So it's like a 20 by 20 lot. I didn't want it to be an overly big space. I wanted it to be very small, comfort and cozy. So I didn't put a lot of skill building things in here except for the, I think I put in a flower arrangement table and a garden, and a very small garden at that. So I imagine that this couple who lives here, I don't know what they do, guys. Honestly, I have no idea what they do to survive and pay their bills and do all of these things, but the house itself is very small, very cozy. I just had an idea of who I wanted to live here, but I honestly didn't think about I honestly didn't think about like anything more than it just being a couple who gardens sometimes and does a little bit of flower arranging as well, and has a toddler. That's it. I did a little something different. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in my last few videos when I've been doing speed builds, I have been pulling out the stuff that I'm going to use for each room. The reason I do that is because it just makes it so much easier for me to be able to just place the rooms. Because I have so much CC, guys. I have so much CC. It's so hard to try to decide what I'm using just on the spot, and I tend to scroll through and sometimes I say I want to use this and I end up changing it up, like even in this one. So in the kitchen I said I wanted to use this green what you call that, counters, and I ended up switching it up because I wanted to use corner pieces and I couldn't get corner pieces. And sometimes whilst I'm scrolling through, I see something else that I want to use and then I pull it out. I am very indecisive when it comes to choosing what it is that I want to put in. And I imagine if it's sometimes, it's not a frustration for me, but I imagine it can be a little bit annoying for maybe viewers to just try to see what it is that I'm trying to do and how I'm pulling it together. So I figured to make things go faster, I just pulled out some of the items that I wanted to use, and I may clutter on screen, but most chances are that I do it off screen, simply because, like I said, I have a lot of CC clutter, etc. So I go through and I select what it is that I want it to be here. So in this kitchen in particular, I used a lot of things, I think, from, I want to say Pierre Sims, a winged llama, cow build, maybe ciboulette, and I'm not sure, maybe some other little pieces here and there from other people as well. And I made it so that the cottage, the kitchen, sorry, looks like they just probably just went on a grocery run. So there are things for the baby, like I put in a bottle warmer, like a milk bottle warmer, and I brought in a bag of groceries and just some little cans and stuff that may be just being set out to be put away. My sim did test everything out in the game and everything works fine with no issues at all. and I don't know, it feels nice. It feels nice. Now I did build a fireplace. It's at the back of the kitchen, guys, and I was at a bit of a loss because I didn't think. I was wondering like, where am I going to put this fireplace, because the rooms are so narrow. It's very small, very like I was wondering like, what am I even going to do and how am I going to do it. I played around a bit in the living room and I decided in the end to take out the small window and add in a fireplace on that end as well. I feel like as if it made better sense. Now it doesn't necessarily um the sofas don't face the fireplace, which in itself would have been a nice thing, like a nice focal point, whatever. But and it probably would have realigned the space a bit to make it more manageable, more maneuverable. But like I said, my sim is the pathways are not blocked off at all. I imagine that that setup is quite okay with them. It's a little bit odd, like I said, but it works. And that's it. The dad likes to collect little insects and stuff, so I did put in a terrarium. I don't know where that word came from. Terrarium for him, and it's on the table in the little hallway. Downstairs has a half bath, and this is of course where guests would go to use the washroom and whenever they come over. And upstairs has two bedrooms and a general bath for the family, which I did. I can't remember if I did it on camera or off, most likely off. I know I tend not to do bathrooms on camera unless it's something specific that I want to show off, because they tend to be pretty generic. So it's not like a fancy setup or anything. It's literally toilet and sink downstairs, and upstairs it's a shower with a tub and a sink and a toilet. That's it. The kid's bedroom is a very cozy space, I believe. I haven't played with toddlers since the new with the new pack where growing together, I should say. Normally when I buy sim packs, it's just for build items and I don't do much gameplay with it. So sometimes I forget what's needed for some of the things. So I even forget what I have, what I may or may not have. So I know this was a toddler, so the toddler needed specific game items to make it work. So I remembered to put in the changing table, etc. I also wanted to be a little cozy space where the mom probably sometimes sits to read to the toddler or the dad, whoever it is, maybe they take turns doing that, comes in to sit. But I also wanted enough space upstairs so that the toddler can play around, etc. And I wanted downstairs playtime as well, so that the toddler can, run around and play downstairs as well. Now, in my intro, you saw that I showcased the build during winter, and at the end of the video, I'm showcasing it during fall. Now, I tend to like to build either in spring and fall, not spring, summer and fall, so that I have an idea of what I'm placing and what it will look like during that times, like spring, summer, autumn, before I do anything specifically in winter, because all the leaves are dropped off by then and everything is bare bones, and I like to have things that actually cohesive and looks pretty enough during the rest of the season, so it's not just that one time. So here's a little garden that I made for the family to use. It has pumpkins in one and what was it? Was it cabbage? I think cabbage in the other one. So this is what I started with. Obviously I was thinking of another fall build, and when I went into live mode, that's when it started to snow, and I was like, oh, well, that's what it's gonna be. So of course the plant items went into hibernation or whatever. until the end. So I did a back area where maybe whilst the parents are working in the garden, the child can come out and play. There is a chair there for supervision on days when it's not just work, it's just a leisurely space and probably away from the sun, etc. This is right next to a little beach, so there is a space that they can go fishing, etc. So I imagine they bring the child down there as well to play in the sand and stuff, which is why we have a bucket and spade for playing in the sand, etc. I was just checking around outside, and here we are, it's done. I hope you really enjoyed it. Oh, I forgot to mention the fire pit that I put off on the other side of the house, but you guys saw. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.